today because we have the wonderful and inspiring Yesenia Rodriguez with us. Please give her a warm welcome as she tells us a little bit more about her new book, Lani Raised Marvelous Hair. Hi, Yesenia.
Hi.
Okay, my first question for you today is, why did you become interested in writing children's books?
So the first thing that interested me, I really can't tell you exactly when, but I've always loved children's books, picture books in particular, ever since I was a little kid. And it didn't really end once I outgrew that level of book. I've always been drawn to them, even as an adult. I love the art. Usually that, underlying moral or moral to the story that they have. And so once I had my own daughter, I was just excited to, have a reason to buy picture books. And I always thought one day I'm going to have my name on one of those books. I'm going to make my own. And so I can't tell you exactly when it started, but it's been a long time. And so, of course, when we had so much time on our hands during the lockdown, I had the opportunity, that one day, someday, it fell right in my lap. And so that's when it happened, when I learned how to put a picture book together.
That's amazing. Okay, so what inspired you to write Lani Raised Marvelous Hair? Because, hair is such a symbolic thing for everyone, no matter what race or color you are.
Yes. So for me, I have a large background in hair. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm a cosmetologist, and my book right here, Lani Raised Marvelous Hair. It's in the title. So that's my background. I'm a cosmetology teacher, so all about hair, skin, and nails. And my daughter was actually the biggest inspiration for me to write the story. So she actually donated her hair. So, if you haven't heard the story, I'm going to give it away just a bit, but it is about hair donation. And her act of actually donating her hair is what inspired me to write this story and make her the main character of my book. But I work with hairstylists all the time, and they're some of the best people to work with, most creative and most giving. And that's really in the story.
Okay, I really like what you said about so do you think you draw a lot of inspiration from the things around you? Because so far it seems that way.
Yes, definitely. So my daughter is a huge inspiration for me. Obviously, now she's 11 years old, and, anyone who has children or even someone who's always around them, and if you're helping in their upbringing, then, they're going to inspire you in some way or another. And so she is a huge inspiration to me. And for her at age 6 to have the idea on her own to say, hey, I want to donate my hair, because she already knew what the concept was, that was a huge inspiration for me. And so, that was just one of the ideas that I had. Of course, there's other things that happen in our life that you can bring to life in a story. And so that was kind of the easiest one for me to put into a story, to sit down and write about a little girl with all this hair who donates it to her friend.
Yeah, I hope this inspires other children to do the same. Now, on to the next question. What were some of your favorite books growing up, and what do you think they taught you about life? This kind of links to the last question in a way.
Yes. So there are a few books I could think of. Sticking with picture books, I've always loved some story that sparks an emotion. So in my story, it does get a little sad. It does kind of turn that way where, it's like this nice kid story, and then it's like, whoa, where did that come from? But I do appreciate that in a story where it could spark emotion. To me, I feel like it's something you don't forget. And it makes me think of Pinocchio. That's a movie and a book. And I remember watching that movie, and it made me cry. And I thought, why is this in a story? But it never left me. And it's something that inspires me. And I also think of Madeline, the Madeline stories. And, those are such cute stories. And, but there are those challenges, right, that they're going through in their daily life. And maybe it's not so apparent in the story, but you can learn something from them. And then recently, as an adult, there was a book that I came across called Ida Always, and it's based on a true story of polar bears, and it just made me cry so much. I was bawling when I listened to the story the first time, and that's, now as an adult. So if a story can spark an emotion, that's what I like usually.
Yeah, I love hearing the passion in your voice as you speak. So I'm wondering, how do you foster this type of passion in children, or how can parents and teachers foster this love of books so that it sticks with them, for the rest of their lives?
So, I would say to anyone, any adult, if they see a child, whether it's their own child or someone they work with, their students, definitely nurture that love for reading or that love for storytelling. Encourage them, when I speak to classes about, writing stories about myself being an author, I do encourage them, keep writing, especially if they're that person that loves it, continue to do it. Do it without judgment of yourself or expecting judgment from others. Just write that story, get it down, even if it's not perfect, and do it as a daily routine. So whether it's journaling, reading to increase your vocabulary, just learning kind of your writing style and what you like to write about. And definitely, like we mentioned before, drawing from the things around you that inspire you. But for the ones that love it, it's easy already, I think, because it's there. And so I like to talk to the students who maybe they don't like to read so much, or they don't really consider themselves writers. I would tell the adults in their life to encourage it. Find something that they like, so that you could read to them. Find a subject. So if they're into video games or anything like that. A lot of kids are into video games. They don't want to read. If you can find a book that has a similar topic or based on that, I know there's a book that they can find that they would like to read. And that'll definitely grow the interest in writing, right? When you find books that you like to read, you kind of find your voice and your narrative, and then you can write your own story. But yeah, there's definitely a story in all of us, and I would encourage anyone to get that story out there.
Oh, fantastic. You already answered my last question, which was, what would you say to little kids who love reading already, who love writing, but are just so afraid to venture into it because they don't feel as if their story is important, like you said?
Yeah, no, definitely tell that story. I know that, writers of any age will be a little insecure about their writing, or anyone reading it. But I would tell them, get that story out. Every story has to be revisited, edited. I don't care who the writer is. So once you realize that, and once you get over that fear of, being a perfectionist or needing it to be right the first time, just get those ideas down. You can set them aside for a later time and then go back and change it. It's never perfect the first time. And really, like when we think about what perfect is, it's not, you can always work on something. So, get over those fears of having it be perfect and just get the story down, and you can go back and make changes as you need to. And have someone that you trust look at the story, and they can help you with that too, right? That's part of the editing process, to put a whole story together and make it right.
Okay. Thank you so much for this interview. We really appreciate it. Do you have anything more that you want to say about your your book?
Yeah, so right now I do have the one book, Lani Ray's Marvelous Hair. I have it in hardcover. It's also available in Spanish. So I really wanted to have it in another language. I'm in Southern California. Spanish is a huge language here in Southern California. And in many other parts of the state and across the nation. And so I really wanted to have the book available for one, so that anyone who that's their first language and they read in Spanish, they have access to it. But also, if you're learning one language or the other, whether you're learning English or learning Spanish, I think it's very helpful to read one story and, you know, and then have the story in the other language so you can compare it. So definitely that's one thing that I'm really proud of that I was able to do with my book. But I do have the hardcovers available on my website. And I also have the the paperback and the ebook on Amazon. So you can always look up Lani Ray's Marvelous Hair, and definitely look out for other books that I will be bringing out soon.
Trust me, we're all looking forward to them.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you. And from my side, if you're interested in supporting DYKB reading program further, you can join our youth membership, which costs $25 a year, and this supports a single program instead of the entire organization. And with this, you'll get access to the kids reading program as well as regular updates around the world that your donation supports. We also have updates on our Facebook page on Fridays at 4 p.m., as well as more information on our website, www.dykb.org. And you can check us out on YouTube as well. Our YouTube channel is D.Y.K.B Nonprofit 501c3. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Awesome.
For joining us.
Thank
Bye.
you for having me on here. Bye.